Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockMiner, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. Welcome to all of you after Christmas, getting ready for the new week. Sunday video. Just got done doing all my work and sitting here with a hairless rat. No, it's not Ben Bernanke. God, you guys are so silly. No, really. My oldest son had a birthday, and his friends went out and, as a joke, got him a hairless rat. We named him Brett. So, for all you football fans, especially you Packer fans, you'll know exactly why we named him Brett. And I'm going to take him back to the store. It was a joke and ha ha ha, but I feel bad for the poor thing. We're not going to keep it, but we'll take it back to the store and just give it back to them so they can sell it to someone that actually wants it. And in the meantime, he's been keeping me company while I did my video today. So let's look ahead to the new week. We are done with Christmas. The volume should start to slowly pick up. Now, I wouldn't expect it to be gangbusters this next week. The last 2 weeks of December, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't really pick up. There really isn't a whole lot to be done. That's why I've been away from my computer and answering emails later at night. I've just really been doing other things to kind of clear my mind and get me ready for this next stretch coming into January. So don't expect the volume to necessarily pick up to mass proportions, but I would expect to see it larger than what we have. After the first of the year, that's usually when we start to see the retail numbers come out and exactly how we did over Christmas, and then things start to really pick up come January timeframe. So keep that in mind as we push forward. But as you can see, what we had last week was a giant move up, bouncing off of lower support and coming all the way up to break through and close above resistance on all of the indices that we've been watching. Now we're waiting for what I mentioned last week, confirmation. Let's see if this week brings us higher prices, and let's see if the week actually closes out at new highs. Now, no reason not to think so. We've been in what I've called a high base for the last month or so. Just a matter of time before we finally had a breakout. December, Christmas time was a great opportunity for the bulls to push this thing above the upper resistance areas. Not a lot of people in the markets. Low volume typically brings higher prices. And what a great opportunity. So Santa's happy, everybody's happy. Now we'll see if it holds. So be watching this as we go. You'll see that on the Dow. I just showed you that it broke the 10,500 mark. NASDAQ clearly up and above that 1815 area, which was its overhead resistance. It gapped to 1818 and ran straight up. Tech stocks following along. You can see on the daily, look at this huge run. After it hit lower support down here, and I said, you feel lucky, punk? It had proven to hold as support in the past. It proved once again that it was support here. Ran straight up. So now we're up above this. We're up above this. And that takes us to where? Well, we have to go to a weekly to really get a better idea. Now look at the volume that we had last week. See how low that is? I mean, it's basically nothing. So that's why I'm curious to see if this holds for the week. That's a long ways to come back down and close below. But if this will hold for a week or even two, my next target on the NASDAQ is up here towards this 1950 area. And then above that, it's all the way back up above 2,000 again. And what a run it's been since March. Look at that. Almost completely destroying all of the losses that came over the last couple years or so. So the NASDAQ being very, very strong. And up above this resistance, which I said here was this high base, finally pushed above it during Christmas. So we'll be watching to see Monday whether or not the markets move sideways, if they hold some of these areas. I don't expect it all to come crashing down in one day. I'm just curious to see if by the end of the week we don't have a little move down, maybe to even retest some of these levels that we're breaking. The SPX on a 60 broke that 1115 mark. I said be careful between 1115 and 1120, but once it broke 1120, I said I would take that for a long play. We got that the last day of the week, and you can see it run all the way up to 1126. Now, I say a break over 1130 That'll put us up above this overhead resistance. And notice how well it has held in the past. We've had touches of it here, 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 and now once again we're back up to it here. Look at the minuscule volume. Yes, it was an abbreviated day, so it was half a day's worth of work, but very, very, very little volume here. Watch for maybe a sideways move here, maybe as it holds here on Monday. That would not be out of the question to see that happen. But we're watching for a push up and over this area. It gets above 1130. I think we see 1150 by the time it's all over with, if it'll close above 1130. SPX on a weekly, you can see it trying to push above this heavy, heavy overhead resistance. I showed you that this runs quite a ways back. This is really a very big line in the sand for the bears. They need to hold this and not let the bulls close above it. But the bulls have been nothing but relentless on any overhead resistance it's come to. So this 1150, as I said, is my next mark, up and above 1130. I think 1150 could be in the picture. The VIX falling down as we look right on a weekly. I showed you the dotted line and the green line coming across here. Watch for it maybe to open one candle over and allow a little bit of room to come down and maybe touch this level. At this point, would not be a bad idea to maybe pick up some calls or some puts. I think the VIX would be due for a bounce right down in this area, and things should start to get a lot less expensive from an option standpoint once we hit these levels down here. Apple on a 60-minute screaming up. Called the break of this bull flag here, and it was nothing but straight up after that. Much larger rise than I would have expected that last day of the week. But Apple just looking very, very strong, and now